All right, we're going to do some examples of adding and subtracting. We'll remember from yesterday that if we have things that are being added or subtracted, we pay attention to the sign that's in front of the number. Same signs mean we're going to add and keep the sign, and different signs mean we're going to subtract and take. If you want to actually physically write these down as I'm going through, you can. Or if you just want to watch, you can do that as well. So if we have the first one, for example, we have negative 4.03 plus negative 7. This is a whole number 7. We pay attention to the sign in front. We have a negative number and we have a negative number. So I have same signs. So all I'm going to do is add and keep. Now when I add decimals, I have to make sure I line up the decimal. So if I put 4.03 and then 7, although there's not a decimal on the 7, we can put a decimal on the 7, which is going to make it go right there. We'll add those straight down. That's 3, 0. 4 plus 7 is 11. Bring down my decimal. Pay attention to my sign because I'm adding and keeping the sign. It's going to stay negative. There's my answer there. Important part there is to make sure you recognize that the whole number 7 does have a decimal and it's right there. Next one is when we have two negatives next to each other. If you'll remember, these two negatives that are right next to each other, they create a positive or plus. So now instead of having 67.42 minus a negative 2.1, I have 67.42 plus 2.1. And these are decimals. I have a positive and a positive, so I'm just going to add and keep the sign. Make sure I line up my decimals, so the 2 is going to go here, decimal, and then a 1. Adding those together, I have 2 here, 5, 9, and 6. Oops, that's supposed to be a 9. Okay, signs are the same, so I'm adding, which I did, and then I keep the sign. The sign's positive. There's no need for you to put a positive sign out front, so there's your answer. Next one for decimals, again, I make sure I pay attention to the sign. I have a positive number here and a negative number here. So signs are different this time, so I'm going to subtract, take the sign of the larger number. Now when I subtract decimals, I do have to line them up just like I did up here for adding. So when I line them up, I'm going to have 45 here and 35 there, making sure my decimals are nice and lined up here. Now there's lots of borrowing going to have to happen in this problem, so I'm going to go slow. 2 minus 5 will not work, so this 2 is going to become a 12. And I need to borrow from the next number over, but there's nothing there. Nothing there, nothing there, but there is one here I can take away, which is going to be a 0. All these other numbers in between become a 9. All these zeros become 9s at the top, because we borrowed 1 from the 0, which is actually like it's supposed to be like a 10. If we borrow 1 from it, it makes it a 9. So 12 minus 5 is 7. 9 minus 3 is 6. 9 minus 5 is 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. And 0 minus nothing is 0. Bring down my decimal. Keep the sign of the larger number. 100.02 is larger, and it is positive in my original problem, so my end answer is going to also be positive.